Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild Players. The Lady Esther Screen Guild play tonight, The Perfect Specimen. The starring players...
This is Betty Grable.
This is Jack Carson.
And this is May Whitty.
Tonight, Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild Players in Warner Brothers' delightful comedy, The Perfect Specimen. It stars Jack Carson as Gerald Wicks, Betty Grable as Mona Carter, and Dame May Whitty as Grandma Wicks. The Lady Esther Screen Guild Players in The Perfect Specimen. Once upon a time, not very long ago, there lived in a castle called the Wicks Estate, guarded not by dragons, but by man-eating dogs and no trespassing signs, an eccentric old lady known as Grandma Wicks. Every old castle should have a beautiful princess for a prisoner. But this castle was different and had a prince of a fellow named Gerald Wicks. Now, Gerald was a man in his 30s, but he had never seen anything of life outside his castle and his books. Unfortunately for him, his grandmother had decided before he was born that she should make Gerald into a Superman, and that by buying up all the best teachers, trainers, and tutors in the world, he would grow up to be the perfect specimen. Grandma Wicks even went so far as to choose Gerald's future wife, the young and fair Alicia, who was very tepid to Gerald and quite torrid to horses. Well, our play opens in the dining room of the Wicks Castle, and Grandma and Alicia are waiting for Gerald to come down to breakfast.
That clock's wrong again. 15 seconds slow. Call the clockmaker, Alicia.
But Mrs. Wicks...
Then get another clock. And another thing. I heard a rooster crow this morning. Find out which bird is responsible.
I'll make a note of it.
And where is Gerald?
Did anyone think to unlock his cell?
Don't be impudent, young lady. And by the way, why do you come to the table in a riding habit?
Because I've been riding and there wasn't time to change.
I don't approve, Alicia. It's almost impossible for a man to propose to a girl wearing breeches.
But Gerald doesn't have to propose. You propose for him.
Well, what's wrong with that? I know what's best for both of you, don't I? Oh, by the way, make a note. Remind me to order the wedding invitations.
Good morning, Grandmother. Hello, Alicia.
Gerald, you're late for breakfast.
Not very late, Grandmother.
2 minutes late.
I was looking out the window and I forgot the time.
And what did you learn by looking out the window?
Well, that it's spring.
Well, of course it's spring. What of it?
Well, I guess that...
Oh, don't mumble. What are you trying to say?
It's just a vague idea.
Oh, I know what you mean, Gerald. The sun's so bright and the air's so clean. I felt it, too, when I was riding back here with George.
George?
The new riding master.
Dismiss him at the end of the week. Now, Gerald, what's your schedule this morning?
After breakfast, business administration until 9 o'clock. Then applied psychology. 10 o'clock, outdoor exercise. 10:30, motor mechanics. Boxing, 11:30. Lunch. Then this afternoon...
Oh, merciful heavens, what was that?
Sounded like a smash-up. I'll go see.
Gerald! Gerald! Come back right here and finish your breakfast. Gerald! You hear me? I won't have you rushing about on an empty stomach.
That was quite a smash-up. You're sure you're not hurt?
No, I don't think so. But thanks anyway. I'm Mona Carter.
How do you do? I'm Gerald Beresford Wicks.
Oh, I'm pleased to... What? What was that name?
Gerald Beresford Wicks.
Oh, then you're the perfect specimen I've been reading about in the Sunday papers. Say, can you picture me running into you?
Picture? My grandmother does not permit photographers to take pictures of me, so I think you'd better go.
Oh, why the rush act? You're not very polite.
Yes, I am. I have excellent manners. I was tutored by Emily Post herself. But you see, I am on to your game.
Game?
They all try it.
Who all try what?
You are a newspaper photographer, are you not?
No.
Then you are a reporter.
No.
Oh, then I suppose you are the other.
What other?
A designing woman.
I am not. Besides, I don't know why anybody should have any designs on you.
That's an opinion formed far too quickly to be sound.
Well, it sounds all right to me.
I'd better check over your motor before you go.
What do you know about motors?
I know everything there is to know about them.
You know everything there is to know about everything.
Just about.
Just about? Why, you conceited.
Conceited? No, I do not think so. I have nothing to be conceited about. It is my grandmother who deserves the credit. It is she who is making a perfect specimen.
That's what you think. Tell me something. Have you ever been tight?
Of course not.
Have you ever seen a burlesque show?
Certainly not.
Did you ever kiss a girl?
Now, don't you start anything. I can't afford to be compromised.
You can't afford.
Now, step in the starter and we'll test the engine.
It started.
I knew it would. Your car's all right. Just a bent fender and grill.
Well, thank you for the checkup, and excuse me for smashing the fence. And...
Are you going back to Pennsylvania?
Yes, How did you know where I was from?
Your license plate.
Oh. Well, goodbye.
Goodbye. What did you say your name was again?
Mona Carter. Look, you're not so bad underneath. Don't you ever want to get out into the world? Don't you ever want to run away?
Where to?
Oh, just to ride the carousel, see the circus. Get out like an ordinary man, not as the heir to $40 million. Why, you've never followed an impulse, I bet. Never carried through a crazy notion. Try it someday. Just one impulse. You may like it.
Gerald!
Uh-oh. Is that the famous witch, Grandma?
Yes.
What is all this?
An accident, Grandmother.
I'm just going. I got to talking to your grandson, and
Not that I thought. You're a designing woman. She has designs on you, Gerald.
Oh, no, she hasn't.
She's good looking, isn't she?
Well,
Answer your grandmother.
yes, Yes, she is.
Then she's got designs.
Do you think so, Grandmother?
Well, you two just talk it over. As for me, I'm going. Goodbye.
Gerald, stop gaping after that girl. What would Alicia say?
Who?
Alicia, your fiancée. I think, Gerald, that owing to this seductive spring weather, I'll advance the date of the wedding.
I'll talk it over with Alicia.
You'll do nothing of the kind. You will be dressed and ready to go to the church for the ceremony tomorrow morning.
Mrs. Wicks. Oh, Mrs. Wicks.
Yes, Grattan?
Madam, I regret to inform you that Mr. Gerald cannot be found.
What?
I went in just now to lay out his clothes for the wedding, and he was gone.
Well, don't stand there. Find him. Comb the place.
We have, madam, but we can't find him.
Merciful heavens. He's been kidnapped. Call the police. Telephone the G-men, the Attorney General, the Secretary of State.
How do you do?
Well, the perfect specimen.
May I come in?
Well, I broke through your fence, so I guess you can break in my apartment.
Thank you.
How did you find me?
Very simple. Those Pennsylvania license plates, number 9X765.
And how did you bust out of the Bastille?
Oh, they don't really keep me locked up, you know. I just never wanted to get out before.
And why did you want to get out now?
I kept thinking about you.
Oh, really?
Yes, I wanted to discuss with you the points you made about the errors in my training.
Oh, educational.
Of course.
I was afraid of that.
Would you like to go for a drive?
Where to?
Just a drive. I've never seen much of Pennsylvania. It might be very instructive.
I see. Something tells me I'm making a mistake, Jerry, my friend, but I'll go. Wait till I turn off the radio.
You called me Jerry. Would you mind continuing that? I've never been called that before.
Ladies and gentlemen, the perfect specimen has been kidnapped.
Oh, listen.
Gerald Beresford Wicks, heir to the Wicks Utilities and the $30 million estate of his eccentric grandmother, was kidnapped early this morning. Police are beginning a nationwide hunt. And now, back to the music of Freddie Martin and his orchestra, who will...
Kidnapped? But a man can't kidnap himself.
Grandma Wicks has released the bloodhounds. What are you going to do?
I must think. I must apply the principles of logic.
Oh, you're afraid of your grandmother, aren't you? You're afraid she'll spank you for running away.
I'm not afraid. And I'm not going to let myself be hauled back like a runaway schoolboy.
Did you arrive at that decision by the principles of logic?
No, I guess that was an impulse. I see what you meant about impulses. I shall do just as I please. I like that. But I do wish I knew what Grandmother is saying about this.
It's getting awfully late. Don't you think we ought to go back, Gerald?
No, not yet, please. It's been a wonderful day.
You shouldn't have punched that waiter.
He shouldn't have referred to you as a tomato.
Tomato. And he said cute tomato. Where did you learn to fight like that?
My boxing instructor was...
Don't tell me. Let me guess. Joe Louis?
How did you know?
Second sight.
Have you any idea of where we are?
None at all. I should say we were the first white people to penetrate this wilderness. Something tells me it's going to rain.
Something tells me we're out of gas.
Something tells me we're going to walk. And something tells me it's raining.
Sounds nice, doesn't it? Sort of cozy in here. Mona...
Yes, Jerry?
Well, You...
Yes, dear.
Mona, I'm going to kiss you.
I suspected it. Why, Jerry, who taught you to do that? Van Johnson?
No, Harry James. Oh, Mona. Mona, darling. Mona, dear,
Please, Gerald. There's lightning in the sky, and there's a look in your eye. And both of them tell me that we'd better start walking.
The second act of the Lady Esther Screen Guild play will follow in just a moment. Now, a word from Lady Esther.
I think you know that I have never paid anyone $1, no, not even a penny, for a testimonial saying nice things about Lady Esther face cream. I don't have to do that, and I don't believe in it anyway. As a matter of fact, even though many, many lovely women have voluntarily written me to say they love what my face cream does for their skin, even so, I never ask you to try Lady Esther four-purpose face cream on the basis of what it has done for someone else. Why, I never ask you to try it on my say-so, but only and always on the basis of what you can see and feel it do for your skin. That's why I say, make the Lady Esther patch test. This little test shows you immediately exactly what my four-purpose face cream does for your skin. It tells you more than all the testimonials in the world. For here are results you can see and feel. Results on your very own skin. To make the patch test, you just rub Lady Esther face cream on a small area, like one cheek. Wipe it off. Then, look in your mirror and see the freshness, the clearness of that patch of skin as compared with the rest of your face. Touch it with your fingertips and feel the smoothness, the satin-like finish. Once you experience this, you won't be much impressed by what other creams claim to do for celebrities, because you can see and feel what Lady Esther face cream actually does for you. The patch test takes only 30 seconds. Just 30 seconds to prove Lady Esther face cream is the most beautifying cream you have ever used.
You'll remember, at the end of Act One, Mona, played by Betty Grable, and her newly awakened perfect specimen, played by Jack Carson, are hiding out on Grandma Wicks, played by Dame Mae Whitty. They were caught in a rainstorm, out of gas, and it seems that while Lady Esther was speaking, they have been towed into the nearest town and are checking into the local hotel. Gerald has decided to pose as a salesman, an underwear salesman.
Good evening. I am a salesman. I am traveling in my underwear.
You drummers sure are great little kidders.
I have a demonstrator with me.
Double room.
Oh, no. 2 rooms.
Register here. Got any baggage?
No.
You got to pay in advance, then. $2 each and a quarter extra if you use the radio. Holy smoke, you can't register that way.
What's wrong?
G.B. Berry and Companion. You haven't been on the road very long, have you?
What do you mean?
You better sign for your wife.
Oh, I see. What state are we in?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, I see. Very well, let me have the pen again. Mr. and Mrs. G.B. Berry.
That's better. Here's your keys, 41 and 42 at the top of the stairs. I hope you find them comfortable, Mrs. Berry. Good night.
Good morning.
Hello.
Are you dressed?
Go away.
You better hurry. I'm tired of waiting.
10 minutes.
You're too long. I'm coming in.
Oh, wait! I haven't any clothes on.
Neither have I.
What?
My clothes are downstairs being pressed, but I am modestly and becomingly attired in a blanket.
Hey, that's a good idea. Wait 3 seconds until I drape myself in one. 1, 2, 3.
Here I come. Pocahontas.
Sitting Bull himself.
Here's your breakfast.
Oh, why didn't you say you were bringing breakfast? I'm famished. Coffee and toast and, bacon and eggs. Beautiful.
You should wear blankets all the time. You know, you look enchanting, delightful, childlike, and adorable.
Jerry, my Jocko, you're definitely improving. But don't let me interrupt you. Go on.
You mean with the compliments? You like them, huh? Well, now let me see.
Never mind. Skip it. Would you like some radio music with your breakfast?
Yes. Why do you change the subject?
Because I like my flattery spontaneous.
Mona, I want to tell you, it's nothing much, I suppose, only... You see, I'm beginning to like you a lot. Do you suppose that we...
Coffee?
No, thank you. I guess I'm pretty stupid about expressing myself, but...
Oh, wonderful eggs. Delicious.
But you see, Mona, I want you to marry me and...
Good morning. There were new developments overnight on the Wicks kidnapping. It has been revealed that Gerald Beresford Wicks, the perfect specimen who disappeared yesterday, was to have married debutante Alicia Brackett this morning. The future Mrs. Wicks could not be reached for a statement.
Why, Jerry.
Police are looking for an attractive young woman who made a mysterious appearance on the Wicks estate the morning before the kidnapping. We have been asked to broadcast the following description of the kidnapper's decoy. 5 feet 2, about 108 pounds, blue eyes, blonde hair, and assured manner.
Mona, that's you.
Mona the Mall, the gangster's decoy.
Oh, I'm sorry to have involved you in this, Mona.
Who is this Alicia?
Oh, that.
Yes, that.
I was going to tell you about that.
Oh, were you? You Lothario?
I knew you'd understand because you love me.
I what?
You love me.
I do not.
Oh, yes, you do. My training in applied psychology has made it very clear to me.
Oh, applied psychology. Who was your trainer in that? Bluebeard?
You see? If you weren't in love with me, you wouldn't be angry. You wouldn't be angry at the thought of my being engaged to another woman.
Why, you conceited twerp. Get out of here and take your applied psychology with you.
But I assure
I
you...
said get out of my room. I wouldn't marry you if you were the last man in the world.
Oh, yes, you would.
Get out or I'll bean you with the bacon and eggs.
Dr. Fettlebottom, the world's greatest authority on applied psychology, has taught me that a woman never keeps a threat made in anger.
Is that so? Well, you tell Dr. Fettlebottom you've just met the world's greatest authority on applied bacon and eggs.
Hey, Mona, don't throw that. Oh!
Now, shake your heads and you'll be an omelet. Goodbye, Mr. Wicks.
Well, This is going to be a terrible shock to Dr. Fettlebottom. Clerk, have you seen Mrs.
Berry, Mr. Berry.
Oh, thank you very much. Have you seen her?
Yes, she went west in your car.
Oh, quick, get me a taxi.
Now, look, buddy, if I was you...
Get me a taxi.
Okay, it's your romance. But when you've been married as long as I have, you'll leave the key in your car every night, just hoping against hope this will happen.
There's the car driver. Pull up alongside and blow your horn.
Okay, mister.
Hey, Mona.
Go away.
I've got to talk to you.
Go talk to the future Mrs. Wicks.
Oh, Mona, be reasonable.
Hey, mister, I don't want to bust up nothing, but we're blocking the road. We're holding up traffic.
Mona, will you pull over and let me explain?
There's 2 trucks and 6 cars back of us, mister.
Mona, I have no intention of marrying Alicia. You've got to believe that.
Mister, please, we now got 3 trucks, 10 cars, and the cops back of it.
Mona, did you hear me? I said...
Hey, you! Pull over the side of the road and stop.
You see, mister, now I got a ticket.
You too, miss. Pull over and stop.
Oh, look, officer, I was just driving along, minding my own business.
What's the idea of blocking the highway? You got a license?
Well, certainly I've got a license. Here.
The perfect specimen, right to the bitter end.
Gerald Beresford Wicks. Well, looks okay. Gerald Beresford... Holy jumping mackerel, why, you're...
Yeah, I am not. Now, don't jump to conclusions, officer.
You're the guy everybody's been looking for. And you, lady, you must be the kidnapper. Come on, I'm taking you both to his grandmother and collecting the $5,000 reward.
For the 50th time, why did you kidnap my grandson?
For the 50th time, Mrs. Wicks, I didn't kidnap Gerald. And where is he? Why isn't he here for this 3rd degree?
He'll be here in a few minutes. He's out explaining all this to his fiancée. Now, look me in the eye and tell me the truth. Didn't you kidnap him so he'd be compromised?
Don't you talk to me like that. I wouldn't marry your grandson if you paid me to.
Oh, you wouldn't. And why not, miss?
Because you're his grandmother.
Gerald.
Hello. Did I hear her say she wouldn't marry me?
Yes, and I meant it.
Quiet, please. I'm going to do the talking.
After I have left.
You are staying. For good.
I am not. Ouch!
Now, grandmother, the first thing you can get through your head is that I am not engaged anymore.
Well, what about Alicia?
She just eloped with the riding man.
Well, she what?
So that's settled. Now, listen, Mona.
Let me go, Gerald Wicks.
Sherry to you.
I wouldn't marry you if you were the last man in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose he isn't good enough for you.
You suppose right.
You have the nerve, the colossal brass to stand there and refuse to marry my grandson because he isn't good enough? I never heard of such impudence.
What are you going to do about it?
You're marrying Gerald, and that's that. So let's hear no more about it.
Not if she doesn't want to. You're not going to make her.
Oh, I'm not. Why not, pray?
Because I am choosing my wife this time, not you.
You'll marry her and like it, if she'll have you. And if you ask me, she's too good for you. She has a will of her own, that girl. She's no milk and water, shilly-shally, flip-flop, whether they like you. She's got gumption.
Well, I never...
Yes, you have. And don't you dare to deny it.
Quiet down, both of you. There's nothing to argue about anyway, because I am already married.
You're what?
Why, Jerry.
Yes, I'm married. So you can run away as far as you like.
All right, I will. But, Jerry, when? Where? Whom did you marry?
When? The other night. Where? At the Waldorf Hotel in Hooperville, Pennsylvania. Whom? I married you.
You did not.
Oh, yes, I did. You show a regrettable ignorance of the laws of your own state of Pennsylvania.
He's cracked.
I am not even chipped. Mona, do you remember how I signed the register at the Waldorf Hotel?
How?
Mr. and Mrs. G.B. Berry.
What of it?
There's an old Pennsylvania statute which says, and I quote, if any man or woman jointly publish themselves to be man and wife, and if one or both do attest this status by written record under whatever name, that makes Jerry Berry all right, this shall constitute a legal article of wedlock. Now, that's the law. So there you are, Mona Wicks. Try and get out of that.
I'll get a divorce.
Nonsense. Well, Gerald, what are you standing there for? Kiss the bride. Go on. Go on.
Okay.
I won't.
Call that a kiss? Huh. Why, in my young days, if a girl got her breath back in less than 3 minutes, she thought the gentleman had insulted her.
I'll try again, Grandmother.
Oh! What was that for?
For taking orders again from her. And that's for applied psychology. Goodbye.
Hey, wait, Mona. Excuse me, Grandma.
Run, Gerald. Faster, faster. Remember your track training. I paid thousands to teach you how to run. Faster, faster. Oh, well, he caught her. Now, I hope he knows what to do. Yes, not bad. In fact, very good. Why, he's marvelous. Now, where do you suppose he learned that? Guess she's a lucky girl. Guess he's a lucky boy. Guess I did a good job. Guess I'll go upstairs and have a little snort.
Thank you. Thank you, Dame May Whitty, Jack Carson, and Betty Grable for a most delightful half hour. And on behalf of the Motion Picture Relief Fund, thank you all again for stepping in at a moment's notice and pinch hitting for Van Johnson, whose illness prevented him from appearing tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Bradley. We were happy to do it, knowing the wonderful work being done by the fund and its country house. And I'd like to add that Van is much better, and he and Lorraine Day and Guy Kibbe will be here to present The Devil and Miss Jones in just a few weeks. And now, before we tell you about next week's show, here's a word from one of America's best-known beauty authorities, Lady Esther.
Thank you, Miss Grable. Ladies, you may think you know what shade of face powder is best for you. But are you sure? Better be very sure, because the wrong shade can do unkind things to your face and features. Yes, it can even make you look years older than you are. Now, that's a risk you avoid in choosing Lady Esther Bridal Pink. You see, Bridal Pink is an entirely new kind of powder shade. It's blended a special patented way so that it flatters skin of almost every coloring. No matter whether your hair is blonde, brown, auburn, or black, you can choose Lady Esther Bridal Pink with confidence. This new and fascinating powder shade has been tested on thousands of lovely faces of every type. Women write me that Bridal Pink wakens even a drab, sallow skin to an instant look of life and warmth. They say it softens the lines of the face and even makes their features look daintier. The texture of Lady Esther face powder is so exceptionally fine that tiny lines and blemishes are covered up and hidden. It clings so much longer than other face powders, too. For a really glamorous effect, apply Lady Esther face cream before powdering. Wipe it off. Then apply Lady Esther Bridal Pink and see something lovely. Try it.
Next week, the Lady Esther Screen Guild Players will present The Cowboy and the Lady. It will star Olivia de Havilland, Patsy Moran, and Gregory Peck. Be sure to listen, will you? The Perfect Specimen was presented through the courtesy of Warner Brothers, producers of Devotion. Betty Grable appeared through the courtesy of 20th Century Fox and will soon be seen in their Technicolor production, The Shocking Miss Pilgrim. Jack Carson appeared through the courtesy of Campbell Soup and will soon be seen in the Warner Brothers production One More Tomorrow. Dame May Whitty can now be seen in the Warner Brothers production Devotion. Next week, part of the country goes on daylight saving time. If your area remains on standard time, tune in the Lady Esther Screen Guild Players 1 hour earlier. Music on tonight's program was arranged and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. This is Truman Bradley speaking for Lady Esther. Thank you and good night. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild Players. The Lady Esther Screen Guild play tonight, The Cowboy and the Lady. The starring players.
This is Olivia de Havilland.
This is Gregory Peck.
And this is Patsy Moran.
Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild Players and Samuel Goldwyn's delightful comedy of High Heels and Spurs, appropriately titled The Cowboy and the Lady. It stars Gregory Peck as Stretch Willoughby, Olivia de Havilland as Mary Smith, and Patsy Moran as Ellie the Maid. The Lady Esther Screen Guild Players and The Cowboy and the Lady. The trouble with Mary is that her name is Smith. Not any old Smith, you understand. Oh, no. Her father is the wealthy and famous Judge Smith, who has dreamed of only one thing all his life, to be nominated for the presidency. Of course, the merest hint of scandal sends the judge into a tailspin. So when Mary goes to a gambling club, and the club is raided, and the judge finds out...
Mary, this is awful. If the newspapers ever pick this up.
A name like Mary Smith. How could they, Dad? And my pictures never appeared anywhere. They've no idea what I look like.
Well, some reporters can pry out anything. And just as I had that nomination cinched. Mary, I've got to get you out of town tonight. I'll charter a plane.
A plane? For where?
For Florida. Take a maid and a butler and open the house. And don't do anything till you hear from me.
Which explains why Mary is in Florida, slightly out of season, not doing anything and not liking it either.
Miss Mary, will you be going out tonight?
No, Ellie, I'm not going out tonight. Again.
Yes, miss?
Ellie, do you know any card games at all?
Not very many. Casino, maybe.
Oh, I'm crazy about casino. Would you play with me?
I'd love to, Miss Mary. But, well, you see,
You have a date?
Well, I could call and break it, miss. It's just a fella from the rodeo.
A cowboy?
Yes, miss.
Well, I wouldn't think of letting you break it. Have a good time.
Thank you, miss. Will there be anything else?
No, I don't think so. Unless... Ellie.
Yes, miss?
Ellie, has he got a friend?
Which explains in turn how Mary Smith, the heiress, happens to be going on a date with the maid. A blind date, in fact. And to Ellie, that's rather important.
You see, a blind date like this, miss, a fella might be kind of scared. You gotta sort of help him to
Cooperate?
Yeah. I wouldn't want him to think you're just a cold fish. Oh, I mean that...
You mean a cold fish? Ellie, do you think I'm a cold fish?
Why,
Now, tell me the truth.
Well, you don't exactly sizzle.
Well, what do you think I should do about it?
Well, I was thinking maybe if I gave you some pointers, kind of show you how my system works.
You've got a system?
Oh, sure. Say, for instance, you decide you want him to kiss you. You always start out by soft soaping him, see?
Flattery, eh? That's maneuver number 1.
Correct. And if that don't work, you make him talk about himself. That's number 2.
But how can he talk and kiss you at the same time?
Well, he can't keep talking forever, can he?
I see. And what's maneuver number 3?
Oh, that's for emergencies. It's surefire, miss. That's when you tell him the hard luck story.
You mean I work on his sympathy?
It's like money in the bank. And then if you slip in a tear or two, I absolutely guarantee he's yours. What do you say?
Well, I say, let's go out and start maneuvers.
I told Sugar we'd meet him here after the show and to bring along a friend. Oh, there he is now. See him, miss?
The little one with the high heels?
Those are cowboy heels. The other one is yours. The other fella, I mean. Now, just remember the system I told you.
Hi, Ellie. Hiya, honey.
Hiya, Sugar.
Say, Ellie, I want you to meet my friend Stretch.
Hiya, Stretch.
Hiya, Ellie.
Boys, I want you to meet my friend Mary Smith.
Hiya, Mary.
I'm very... Hiya, boys.
That's what I like, a gal who talks our language.
Yeah. Come on, folks. I think we'd better walk.
You know, Stretch, these roads get pretty lonesome at night. I'm glad I've got a man to protect me.
Yep.
Especially one who's so tall and strong.
Yep.
Yes, I thought you were wonderful in the rodeo tonight. About the best rider I've ever seen.
Yep.
I got awfully excited when you threw that steer.
Yep.
I was scared. I screamed. Didn't you hear me?
Nope.
Well, I did, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. I think you're brave and daring and handsome, too. There, what have you got to say to that?
Well, I think maybe we better mosey on home.
This is it, boys. This is my...
Well, this is where we work, Mary and me.
Oh, yes, of course. Come on in.
Say, maybe we should have gone around the back door.
Well, this is the back door. Wait, I'll turn on some lights. There we are.
Well, I'll be a coyote's uncle. Say, Sugar, did you ever see a commissary as big... Hey, Sugar. Well, what do you know? They're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Ellie must have had some job to finish.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Say, what do you work at around here?
Me? Oh, I'm a lady's maid. Of course, right now my lady's away.
Yeah, well, what do you do for her when she's here?
Oh, lots of things. I brush her hair and help her dress.
Why, ain't she got sense enough herself? Well, how old is she anyway?
About my age.
Married?
Not yet.
What's she waiting around for?
Well, maybe she hasn't found the right man.
Yeah?
Or maybe she's found him and he hasn't found her.
Yeah?
Or maybe he's found her and won't admit it.
Yeah?
Oh, could happen, you know. Could happen to anyone. To you. Don't you think so?
Nope.
But it could. Now, you take a man like yourself. You could be sitting here with me, just sort of talking, and for all I know, you might be dying to hold my hand.
Oh,
Or even to take me in your arms and kiss me.
Look, I'm sorry. I gotta go.
Go?
Yeah, you see, we're shoving off tonight. The show's going on to Galveston. I gotta put Dusty on the boat. That's my horse, you see, and, well, he won't take orders from no one but me, so, well, you understand. I'm awful sorry, but...
It's all right, Stretch. I guess Dusty wins.
Where is he, Mary? What did you do with him?
Not a thing, Ellie, and it wasn't my fault.
You mean no luck?
Not a bit. He's out there on the porch playing the harmonica and waiting for Sugar to truck on home with him.
Oh, that's too bad. You sure you tried everything?
Everything you told me and a few of my own.
Even number 3?
Number 3?
The emergency. You know, the hard luck routine.
Oh, my goodness, I completely forgot about that. Ellie, can I have another chance?
Why not?
Well, he wants to leave. He's waiting for Sugar.
Yeah, but Sugar's waiting for me. You get out there. I'll keep Sugar melted down.
Thanks. Stretch, I told Ellie you're waiting. She'll be sending Sugar out. Eventually.
Much obliged.
You don't mind too much having to wait?
Nope.
You know, I envy you, Stretch. Nothing ever seems to bother you. I wish I could always take things that way.
You don't look to me like you've had a tough time.
You don't think so? That's funny. That's really very funny.
Well, what's the matter? Gosh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Oh, that's all right, Stretch.
Well, yeah, but making you cry like that. What's the trouble? Huh? If you want to tell me,
No, I wouldn't want to burden you.
Why not? Might be good to get it off your chest. Maybe I can help.
Oh, you're very kind.
What is it, Mary? Is it your family?
Uh-huh. Mostly my father.
Your father?
His drinking.
Oh. He's drinking.
Night after night. Sometimes for weeks without stopping. He hasn't worked a single day in 12 years.
12 years? Who supports him? Oh, I see. Any more in the family?
Well, there's 5 of us children, including me.
Well, don't any of the others work? Why not?
Oh, they're so young. All girls.
Oh, gosh. 4 kid sisters, and you support them all.
Oh, I don't mind. They're all such darlings. Only sometimes. Well, last year, for instance, when Dottie and Henrietta both had the measles.
At the same time?
And Georgia had the flu, and I was out of work, and the bills were piling up, and, well, sometimes I just don't know how I can go on.
Oh, gee, you poor kid.
Oh, you're so understanding.
And you're mighty sweet. Mighty sweet. Say, you kiss like you really mean it.
Well, maybe I do. Would you like to try again?
Hey, Stretch, it's time for us to vamoose. Stretch. Stretch, don't you think we better be... Say, why don't you go down by the swimming pool? It's cooler there.
You know, Sugar was right. It is much cooler here by the pool.
Yeah.
And the orange blossoms smell so nice.
Yeah. For a while, I thought it was that stuff I got on my hair.
Well, if it is, I like it.
It's like Ma Hawkins was telling me. She's the one who feeds us out at the ranch. She was telling me about the time Jim come to ask for a hand. He got all spruced up and smelling like a barber shop. And when he got to a front gate, why, all the dogs in town was tailing him.
Well, there aren't any dogs following you.
Well, I guess maybe I didn't put enough on. Look, Mary, we're getting on that boat for Galveston tonight, and I was sort of thinking to myself, you ever been out to Montana, Mary?
No.
Well, it's beautiful. A girl like you would be just crazy about it. And I was figuring, well, if it's okay with you, well, I started to build a house before I come out with a show, and I was thinking Ma Hawkins could put you up till I got it finished, and after a while we could change it around any way you liked, and...
Oh, that sounds wonderful, Stretch. Maybe next summer when I get my vacation.
Next summer?
We could have some more wonderful evenings like this. I've had a wonderful time, haven't you? And I was just thinking to myself, I'd be lucky if I met such a nice fellow again. The next blind date I go out on.
The next blind date?
Oh, you don't know what trouble a girl can have. Sometimes you meet the most awful people.
Too bad. I guess I was wrong.
Wrong?
Well, for a while tonight, I've been thinking you were on the level, that this all really meant something to you.
Oh, it does. I've never had so much fun.
I was thinking that last I'd met a girl who didn't measure things by how many men she'd kissed in a week. Well, as I said before, I was wrong.
Please, Stretch.
If you don't mind now, I think I'll get going. I kind of feel like I need a bath.
Oh, Stretch.
No, on second thought, I think you're the one that needs a bath.
No. Don't you dare.
Oh, yes, I do dare.
Put me down. I said put me... Stretch!
You better get out of them wet clothes fast. Here, let me help you, miss.
Thanks.
That lunkhead tossed me in the pool like that. I'd like to catch up with him just once. I'd tell him a thing or two. Or three. I'd say to him...
Not now, Ellie. I haven't time. Get me out my gray suit, will you?
Your gray suit, miss? Where are you going?
I'm catching the boat for Galveston.
Galveston? With him?
I've got some terribly nice things to tell him, too. Very nice, Ellie. Very nice.
Miss Mary, you mean that cowhand's hooked you?
Ellie, let's put it a little more delicately. Let's say he just used the fourth maneuver.
The second act of the Lady Esther Screen Guild play will follow in just a moment. Now, a word from Lady Esther.
Tonight I'd like you to join me in a little experiment. Are you ready? First, close your eyes. Are they closed? Now, run your fingertips over the inside of your arm. Feel how soft the skin is, how silky. Now feel your forehead, your chin, your cheeks. Feel the difference? Yes, you feel the dryness, the bumps. Now I want you to make me prove that Lady Esther Face Cream can make the skin of your face as soft, maybe smooth, as the skin of your inner arm. Remember, I said prove, and not 3 days or even 3 minutes. All I ask, 30 seconds on my convincing patch test, which will show you the glamorous difference Lady Esther face cream makes in your appearance. Sorry. To make this interesting patch test, just smooth a little Lady Esther four-purpose face cream on one patch of skin, like one cheek. Wipe it off. Then compare that cheek with the other. See the difference, the clear, fresh look of that patch of skin. Then, most convincing of all, feel the difference with your fingertips from just one application of Lady Esther face cream. You see, this one cream by itself thoroughly cleans your skin, softens your skin, helps nature refine the pores, and it leaves a smooth base on which face powder looks simply marvelous. I'm sure you want this proof you can see on your own skin in your own mirror. Decide now to let the patch test show you the instant beautifying effect of Lady Esther four-purpose face cream.
And now the second act of The Cowboy and the Lady, starring Patsy Moran, Olivia de Havilland, and Gregory Peck. Well, Mary follows Stretch aboard the boat, and that leads them both to maneuver number 5. A wedding performed by the captain of the ship, which causes a stir in the rodeo crowd, with Sugar being especially upset.
Say, I wonder if she married Stretch for his dough.
But Mary and Stretch are in a world all their own. Arrived in Galveston, they're divinely happy, and they might have continued right on that way if Don Amici had never invented the telephone.
Oh, Miss Mary, I'm so glad I reached you. I've been trying to get you everywhere.
Why, Ellie, what's the matter?
There's a telegram here from your father, miss. He's coming down to Florida.
To Florida? But he can't come right now.
I know he can't, but he is. And he's bringing a lot of politicians along, and that Mr. Henderson who controls the nomination. They're going to expect you to entertain. Oh, Miss Mary, you better rush back.
But, Ellie, that's impossible.
Now, Miss Mary, look.
I'm sorry about Dad. I hate to let him down, but I can't come back now because...
Because why?
I'm married.
Married? You mean you married the boy? Oh.
Ellie, what's happened? What's wrong? Ellie, this is no time to faint. This is long distance.
Hello, Mary. Hiya, honey.
I'm all right, Stretch.
Oh, it don't sound much like it. Anything wrong?
No, it's been so hot all afternoon.
Well, the fellow who called you to the phone told me you had a long-distance call. Any trouble at home?
No.
Still, I guess you worry about your father.
Well, at times.
And your sisters, too. I've been thinking, Mary, if we could get him out to the ranch, we could take care of him some way.
Oh, no, Stretch. Don't you worry about that.
Well, I got to. I was thinking that maybe you better go back and see that they get settled.
Go back?
Yeah, I figure if you go back and get them fixed up, you can be out to the ranch by Tuesday.
The ranch? I don't understand.
Now, this ain't no kind of life for you. For me either. I'm quitting the rodeo into this week, and I'll be home by Tuesday. Of course, if you don't like the idea.
I love it, Stretch. And, Mr. Willoughby, more than anything, I love you. Don't you see, Ellie, I had to do it this way. Stretch thinks I'm just a lady's maid.
And your father thinks you're just a lady. What's going to happen when he learns the truth?
Well, I'll find out when he finds out. Meanwhile, don't tell anyone I married, not anyone.
I won't.
I'll wait till Dad gets here and sort of get things going for him. Then I'll tell him what's happened and run. By Tuesday, I'll be at the ranch with Stretch.
I don't think you will, not by Tuesday.
Why not?
Tuesday? That's the day your father's getting in.
Hi, fellas. How you doing?
Oh, okay, Stretch. What brings you up here again? Something on your mind?
No, just looking over the house again. With a girl like Mary, you can't be too careful. Got a few things to figure out. You just go right ahead.
Oh, sure.
Let me see now. The fireplace is going to be here, and the mantel about here, and Mary's chair ought to go about here. No, maybe a little nearer the fire. Yeah. Now, that'll be better, won't it, Mary?
Huh?
Oh, nothing. Just talking.
Oh.
Let me see now. The window ought to be about here. Yeah, just about. Mary, what do you think? Window okay? Oh, you think it's warm in here? Sure, I'll open the window. Happy to do it for you, honey. Oh, boy, that's wonderful air, huh? Just like I told you. Gee, makes you hungry. What do you say we eat, Mrs. Willoughby? Right over here, ma'am, the dining room. Go ahead, have a seat, Mrs. Willoughby. Oh, must be somebody at the door wanting to come and wish us luck. Wanting to tell us that...
All I want to tell you, Stretch, I think you're gone loco all of a sudden.
Oh, Ma, that ain't no way to talk. I was just making things up, just sort of playing house.
Fine goings-on when there's work to be done. Here's a telegram just come for you.
Telegram? Gosh, maybe the train's early, huh? What time is it, anyway?
About 2 o'clock. What time is that gal supposed to get here? You hear me, Stretch? I asked what time the...
She ain't coming, Ma. Not today.
Oh, must have been delayed. That telegram say when she will be here?
No, all it says is next week. Maybe.
Ellie, I know it's been difficult, only two in help, but you know how much this means to my father.
Oh, I ain't worried about myself. I don't mind the work. But what about you, miss? When do you figure you'll get away?
Oh, I wired Stretch again this morning. I told him next week, sure.
You told him that last week. He's going to smell a rat.
But, Ellie, these politicians, the fathers...
Same thing.
I'd better get in there. Are the cocktails ready?
Yes, miss, a lot of them. I figure if we give them enough to drink, they won't even know what the dinner tastes like.
Few more days of this, and I won't care. Start serving, Ellie. I've got to go in.
Fine thing, all right. Them politicians can drink and eat more than anybody I ever saw. Now, who's that? Oh, dear. Look here, mister. If you're trying to sell any brushes or,
Hi, Ellie. Where's my wife?
Your wife?
Yeah, I've been getting kind of worried about her. Thought I'd better come and see. Is she all right?
Oh, yes. I mean, well, I don't know exactly. You see, she don't work here anymore.
Well, where does she live?
I don't really know.
That's funny. You're a good friend of hers, aren't you?
Oh, sure. That is, look, you better get out of here. I could lose my job. The boss is here.
Boss, I will say, maybe she knows where Mary lives.
Oh, no, she don't. I'm sure she don't.
Well, tell her I want to see her, will you?
Huh? Oh, I couldn't. I'm sorry,
Say, you're acting awful funny. Maybe I better ask her myself.
Oh, no, you can't.
Who says I can't?
I say you can't. You can't go in there. If you do, I'll lose my... Situations wanted. Here I come.
Say, what's Mary doing with all them people? I thought she wasn't here.
Yes, what is it, young man?
I'm sorry, mister. I didn't mean to bust in like this. I was looking for somebody.
I'm Judge Smith. This is my home, apparently. You've made a mistake.
Yeah, a big mistake. An awful big mistake.
Stretch. Wait, Stretch. I've got to talk to you. You've got to let me explain. Please, darling, please.
Lady's maid, huh? You were bragging.
Ellie, he's gone. What'll I do?
Miss, this is one time I wouldn't know. I don't think my system covers this.
Hiya, fellas. How you doing?
Oh, okay, Stretch. Fine. I'd have had the roof on by tomorrow.
I just got back. Thought I'd better come up and tell you. You might as well quit. Just leave it go the way it is.
Like this, unfinished.
Mary.
Stretch, I'm willing to rough it out here, but don't you think we ought to have a roof?
How'd you get here?
Oh, I had a long talk with my father. He's chartered a private plane for me. You know, he's quite a man for chartering planes. It amounts to a hobby.
Oh, why'd you come here? What do you want?
That's what I tried to explain, but you wouldn't let me. This is what I want, Stretch. This house, this country, this life together. Only I can't keep running after you forever. Stretch, don't send me away again, please.
All right, fellas, what are you waiting for? Come on, get busy. You got a house to build.
Okay, Stretch.
Stretch.
Gosh, Mary, it's going to be swell.
Yes, but darling, I've been looking over the house. You better have them add another room.
Another room? What for?
Well, for the moment, we'll just call him maneuver number 6.
Thank you, Gregory Peck, Patsy Moran, and Olivia de Havilland for a delightful half hour.
It was a pleasure to be here, Mr. Bradley. We know that the Motion Picture Relief Fund and its country house, so vital to all of us in the industry, are supported largely by these radio programs, and we're all proud to help the good work. And now, before we tell you about next week's program, here's a word from one of America's best-known beauty authorities, Lady Esther.
Thank you, Mr. Haviland. Ladies, when you buy a face powder, you naturally expect it to be flattering. That's what you use powder for, to flatter you, to make your skin look smoother and lovelier. But Lady Esther Bridal Pink Face Powder goes a step further. Lady Esther Bridal Pink is not just flattering. It's intensely flattering, and to almost every skin it touches. Here, for the first time, is a shade that takes guesswork out of choosing your face powder. It doesn't matter whether your hair is blonde, brown, auburn, or black. Whatever your natural coloring, you'll find that Lady Esther Bridal Pink does surprising, delightful things for your entire appearance. It seems to change the very tone of your skin, gives it life and radiance. It lends sparkle to your eyes. Some women have told me it even makes their features look smaller. Lady Esther Face Powder spreads in a fine, clinging film, completely hiding tiny lines and blemishes. It stays on hour after hour, always fresh and lovely as though just applied. For a really exciting experience, try this. First apply Lady Esther face cream. Wipe it off. Then dip your puff in Lady Esther Bridal Pink Face Powder and pat it gently all over your face. You'll love the way you look. You'll feel young and gay and ready for romance. Remember, Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream and Lady Esther Bridal Pink Face Powder.
Next week, the Lady Esther Screen Guild Players will present Bachelor Mother. It will star David Niven, Francis X. Bushman, and Ginger Rogers. Be sure to listen. The picture, The Cowboy and the Lady, was produced by Samuel Goldwyn, whose next production is The Kid from Brooklyn, starring Danny Kaye. Olivia de Havilland will soon be seen in the Paramount picture To Each His Own. Gregory Peck may soon be seen in the David O. Selznick production Duel in the Sun. Music on tonight's program was arranged and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. This is Truman Bradley speaking for Lady Esther. Thank you, and good night, all. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild Players in RKO's delightful farce, Bachelor Mother. It stars David Niven as David Merlin, Ginger Rogers as Polly Parrish, and Francis X. Bushman as J.B. Merlin. The Lady Esther Screen Guild Players in Bachelor Mother. Our story begins on the day before Christmas, the day Polly Parrish lost her job in the department store owned by J.B. Merlin and his son, David. So, naturally, Polly went job hunting during her lunch hour. But she didn't find a job. She found a baby. The baby was wrapped in a blanket and lying in front of an orphanage door when Polly walked past. Well, almost walked past. She ran up to the step, picked up the baby, and rang the orphanage doorbell. She was standing there holding the baby when a matron opened the door.
Oh, hello. I want to give you this baby. I found it here.
Your name, please.
Polly Parrish. I was just passing by.
Are you employed anywhere?
I'm at Merlin's department. Say, why all the questions?
Well, we must know these things before we'll take your baby.
My baby? Oh, you don't understand. I was just walking along the street and I saw it lying here in the corner.
We're only here trying to help you, my dear.
Well, you're certainly being a great help. I got fired from my job today, and now you want to give me...
My dear, many mothers say babies are not their own.
Now, look here. This is ridiculous. This is not my baby. I tell you, I was just walking past the place and I saw the baby and I picked it up and...
Happy day before Christmas. Fired and an unexpected mother. And that was just the beginning. Before Polly Parrish could break away from the orphanage matron, who insisted that Polly was the mother of the baby, Polly's lunch hour was over. And she hurried back to finish her last day at J.B. Merlin & Sons department store. Soon after, a store messenger came to Polly and led her to the office of David Merlin, the son in J.B. Merlin & Son. The matron from the orphanage was with him.
Come right in, Mrs.
Miss Parrish.
Miss Parrish?
I'm David Merlin, Miss Parrish. After talking to this lady from the orphanage, I'm convinced your discharge was a great mistake.
Tragedy is for the word, Mr. Merlin.
So the job is yours for as long as you care to have it.
Oh, thank you.
And you're being raised $5 a week. We want you to realize, Miss Parrish, that Merlin's department store is the store with a heart.
Oh.
Now, I want to wish you and yours a very, very Merry Christmas.
Oh, well, thank you, and the same to you. Goodbye, Mr. Merlin.
Goodbye. She's a very nice-looking girl.
Oh, yes, the poor, poor thing.
You know, I can just see the ecstasy that'll be on her face tonight when she receives her real Christmas present from J.B. Merlin and Son.
I said?
What?
You heard what I said you heard what I said. You take that baby out of this apartment this minute.
I beg your pardon, miss. This child was sent special rush by J.B. Merlin and Son. Merry Christmas. Good night.
Come back here and get this baby. Oh, listen, kid. This is nothing personal. Oh, I'd love to have you around, but I really couldn't do right by you. Here. Take your thumb out of your mouth and give your teeth a chance. All right, ruin your face. Who is it?
Fred, you ready to go stepping, baby?
You said it, kid. Come in, Fred.
Hey, all ready to go. Is that yours?
No, it isn't mine.
Well, where did it come from?
I got it for Christmas.
Huh? You don't mean Santa Claus?
Look, I don't know what you're thinking, but you're all wrong.
Oh, sure, of course.
Just as soon as I get my coat and hat on, we'll go.
Well, now, look,
Don't worry about a thing, Fred. It's all right, baby. Let's go.
Hey, you mean we're taking the kid, too?
Certainly. Why wait till the after-Christmas rush to exchange a present you can't use? I'm going to play Santa Claus, too, at the residence of J.B. Merlin and Son. The son of a gun.
Yes, miss?
Is this the home of Mr. David Merlin?
Yes, miss.
Well, I must see him. It's a personal matter. He'll know what it's about when he sees me.
Well, couldn't you write him a letter?
Do you think this came as a postcard?
I really couldn't say, miss. However, I may say that it will be impossible for you to see Mr. David Merlin.
All right, then. You take the baby. That's the way I got it.
But here, miss, you can't do this to me.
And tell Mr. David Merlin that Miss Parrish left it here. And he'll have to use his influence to get it back at that orphanage. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye? Rock-a-bye, baby. Mr. Merlin! On the treetop. Mr. David! When the wind blows... Oh, shut up!
How about letting a fella in for a smoke, Polly?
Oh, it's 2 a.m., Fred, and I have to get up early.
Oh, come on, let me in for just a minute.
I said no. Come on, go home, Fred.
No, I don't feel like that, Polly. You said no once, now let me in. Perhaps you didn't understand the young lady.
Who's Mr. Merlin? Oh, I was just... No, that is...
Well, Polly, good night, Mr. Merlin. Good night.
Well, how did you get in here, Mr. Merlin?
The landlady let us in.
Us?
Your baby and me. Miss Parrish, I have seen some low things in my time, but a mother who would abandon her child just to go out on a date.
Would it interest you to know that I am not the mother of that child?
All right, so you're not the mother. You're not employed either.
You're firing me?
I have fired you, and as you go from place to place hunting a job, you will find that no store in the Merchants of America Association, of which I am junior chairman, will hire you. I'll see to that.
Why, that's persecution.
And that'll be just the beginning, Miss Parrish, believe me. Now, do you want to keep your baby and get your job back, or do you want to be jailed for child abandonment?
Well, you don't give me much choice. I'd like to have my job back.
Ah, that's much better. And as the years go by, Miss Parrish, and you and your manly little son stroll into life's sunset together, you'll thank me for saving you from this terrible temptation.
Well, I'm not as bad as you think.
Well, then why did you do it?
Well, there was no one I could turn to.
What about your husband, the baby's father?
Huh? Well, you see, we were never formally introduced.
Oh, poor child. Well, I must be going. Now, don't worry about a thing.
Thank you, Mr. Merlin.
That's all right. Good night, Miss Parrish.
Good night, Mr. Merlin. Just a second, kid. Oh, what am I going to do with you? Have you any ideas? All right. But don't blame me if you get stuck with a safety pin. And I'm just an amateur at folding, too. Who is it?
The landlady, Mrs. Weiss. Could I maybe come in a minute?
Why?
What are you trying to do? Hide the baby? Oh, I know about it. I know. Oh, you. Just like you, it looks.
Huh? Are you kidding?
Certainly not. I know from babies. And for you, this baby, I'm taking care of personally while you're working there. Listen to him talking.
Talking? What's he say?
Who knows with that dialect?
Morning, Polly.
Don't talk too loud, Fred. You'll wake me up.
I get it. Walking the floor with the baby, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the baby, Polly, how's about your getting me a little better job in this joint?
What are you driving at?
Of course, I suppose I could pass my information along to David's old man, J.B. Do myself some good.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The baby. David's baby.
David Merlin's baby? I didn't even know he was married.
Well, if you don't, nobody does. But regardless of that, don't forget to tell him I want a better job.
Come on, baby. Eat. Eat now. Oh, here. Look at Mama. Look. You certainly go in for sophisticated entertainment. Come in.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Mr. Merlin.
Miss Parrish, do you realize this is New Year's Eve?
Oh, well, I'll take your word for it. The way I feel, it could be New Year's morning.
Well, it suddenly occurred to me that you must be having a pretty bad evening. I'm going to a New Year's party, and I thought you'd like to come along.
Well, I'd like to go, but I can't leave the baby.
Well, I've already spoken to your landlady. She'd be glad to watch it.
Oh, well, there's something else.
What?
Look, me with a sweater and skirt. We'd make half of a very lovely couple.
Oh, don't worry about that. I'll take care of the clothes. We'll go down to the store, take a complete outfit from stock. Evening gown, slippers, mink coat. Oh, and if you promise not to tell a soul, I might slip you a pair of nylons.
Oh, David, I think you've been drinking. Oh, excuse me. Hello?
It's Fred, Polly.
Yes?
I thought I told you to have your sweetie get me a better job in the store.
What are you talking about?
David Merlin. I know he's there now. I saw him go in. You tell him to get me a decent job tomorrow, or I'll...
You what?
I'll tell his old man who the father of that baby is.
All right, go ahead. And Freddie.
Yeah?
If you find out who the mother is, let me know.
second act of the Lady Esther Screen Guild play will follow in just a moment. Now, a word from Lady Esther.
Next Sunday is Mother's Day, and this year is Lady Esther's 30th anniversary year. I'm going to celebrate both, Mother's Day and my 30th anniversary, by doing something nice for you. I'm going to declare a 30th anniversary beauty dividend, a truly remarkable value, a perfect little Mother's Day gift. Your dealer has my surprise anniversary package for you. It contains a giant-sized jar of Lady Esther four-purpose face cream, enough for months of the finest care you can give your skin. And also you get a large boudoir-sized box of Lady Esther face powder in bridal pink, my fascinating new shade that's so flattering to skin of almost every coloring. The giant-sized jar of cream sells regularly for $1.38. The large box of powder sells regularly for 55 cents. Both together represent a value of $1.93, and both are yours. This big $1.93 value is yours for only 98 cents. You actually save 95 cents, a double value offer much too good to miss. Remember, it is Lady Esther four-purpose face cream you receive, plus the exciting new bridal pink shade of Lady Esther face powder, each the finest aid money can buy to keep your skin looking younger and prettier. So make a note and don't let yourself forget it. Ask your dealer for Lady Esther's 30th anniversary package, the big $1.93 value for only 98 cents, on which you save 95 cents. Would that be a wonderful gift for Mother's Day, which is next Sunday?
And now the second act of Bachelor Mother, starring Ginger Rogers, Francis X. Bushman, and David Niven. Well, several hours have passed, and it's very early in the morning of New Year's Day. Polly and David are just returning to Polly's apartment from their New Year's Eve party.
Won't you come in, David?
Why, yes, I was afraid you wouldn't ask me.
Why?
Well, after the way you brushed that Fred person aside the other night.
Oh, well, he hadn't kissed me.
He hadn't? Well, I suppose I shouldn't have, but... Well, it was the stroke of midnight and New Year's Eve, and
what?
It's just midnight New Year's Eve again.
It is?
Mm-hmm, in Chicago. Happy New Year in Chicago.
Same to you.
I think I will come in.
Good.
You'll stay up, and we'll welcome in the New Year in Denver and Los Angeles and Honolulu. I can think of a million places.
Well, let's go in and shut the door.
Miss Parrish,
Oh, yes, Mrs. Weiss.
the baby's asleep. Well, he was asleep.
I'll put him back to sleep.
Then I'll go now. Soon my boy Jerome is coming home from playing the piccolotti all night. Jerome, he plays in a swinging band. What a dizzy way to make a living. In a hammock yet.
I don't know how to thank you, Mrs. Weiss.
The stars in your eyes is thanks enough for me. Only one thing, please. Promise in the morning to tell me all about the evening.
I will, Mrs. Weiss, and good night.
Good night.
I guess he decided to wait up and see his Uncle David.
Well, you've come a long way from the girl who wouldn't even admit it was her child.
Well, this is a very unusual baby.
Oh, I don't know why it should be.
Well, I guess it's heredity.
Oh, sure.
And what's the matter with me?
Well, what about the other 50%? You said yourself you didn't even know who he is.
Well, I don't.
Well, you see?
But I know someone who does.
Who's that?
Fred.
What's he know about it?
He won't tell me. But he's going to tell your father the name of the baby's father. Oh, come in.
Is my son here?
Dad, what are you doing here?
Well, I was just driving around. I happened to see your car parked outside, and so I thought I'd stop in.
Polly, this is my father. Dad, Miss Parrish.
How do you do?
How do you do? And who's this?
This is Miss Parrish's little boy.
A boy? Would you mind if I was very careful? Would you let me hold him just a minute?
Oh, of course. Here, take him.
Thank you, my dear. Yes, he was. See? He knows me. Yes, and I'd know that chin anywhere. What's his name?
John.
John? John what?
John B.
Oh. Well, thanks for that anyway. Rock-a-bye.
What's he driving at?
You ought to know he's your father.
What did you say?
Mr. Merlin, is there anything I can do?
You've already done it, my dear. But perhaps you'd better hold little John B. He doesn't seem to recognize me as yet.
Of course, this is the first time he's seen you.
True, but after all, blood is thicker than water, you know.
Dad, you're acting rather strangely. Do you feel all right?
I'll discuss this with you at home. Goodbye, miss.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, John B. Cookie, cookie, cookie.
Well, David, he knows if you don't.
Knows what?
I think Freddie told him, all right.
Told him? Told him what?
That this baby is your father's grandson.
Oh, well, that's very obvious to... What?
And he certainly sounded as though he believed it.
Holy mackerel. This is Christmas... Polly.
Sit down, David, and take it easy. I know just how you feel.
Is Dad up yet, Phillips?
He's in the dining room, sir.
What is his mood?
Does that answer your question, sir?
Yes, well, here goes nothing. Dad, I have to talk to you.
I do the talking. Young man, marriage was good enough for your father and mother, and it's good enough for you. You're going to marry that girl. You're going to bring my grandson into this house.
Now, just a second. I've got something to tell you.
Don't start that with me. You know my temper.
I don't care about your temper. You haven't any grandson.
How can you deny it? I've received information. I saw you with the girl. I saw your baby.
That's not my baby.
Don't lie to me. I got the information in the letter. And even if I didn't have it, if I saw that baby on a desert island by himself, I'd know he was my grandson. He looks exactly like me.
Dad, will you let me say something?
No! My mind's made up! Nobody's going to fool around with my grandson. I'm going to take him away from you. You aren't fit to be his father.
I'm not his father.
You're crazy! That's what's the matter with you. You're unbalanced. Here, where are you going?
To see your grandson.
What about?
Find out who his father is.
Phillips!
Yes, sir.
Bring me some more dishes.
Polly, this is terrible.
Terrible what?
J.B., Dad, he thinks that...
I know. He thought Johnny was yours. No.
No, look, this is no laughing matter. He's going to take the baby away.
I'd like to see him.
Well, that's because you don't know him. He'll get lawyers and investigators and use his influence. He'll get the baby away from you.
He can't do that. It belongs to me. Look, we've got to stop him.
But how can we?
Take me to your father. Let me talk to him. I'll convince him that...
He won't believe you either. He's gone off his head. He even wanted me to marry you.
Oh.
Wants to set me up with a ready-made family so he can have a grandson. I tell you, this is serious.
Yes. Yes, it would be serious marrying me, wouldn't it?
Oh, I didn't realize how that sounded.
David, will you please go?
Look, I didn't mean that, Polly. I am sorry. Look. Well, now, don't you worry. I'll think of something to get you out of the spot you're in.
Oh, you will. Well, that's very kind of you, Mr. Merlin. But I wouldn't dream of putting you to so much trouble. I'm perfectly capable of handling this myself, and I promise you, by this time tomorrow, your poor, innocent child will have a new father.
Mr. J.B. Merlin will see you now. This way, please.
Thank you. Now, be careful, Jerome. Don't forget what I told you to say.
Not a chance. I got it all wrote out here on my shirt cuff.
Mr. and Mrs. Jerome Weiss.
Mr. and Mrs. Weiss. I thought my son introduced you as Miss Parrish.
Oh, that's the name I use in the store. We've been married for 2 years, you see.
Yeah, that's right. 2 years.
Your son, David, you see, just called, and there seemed to be a slight misunderstanding about our baby.
Ain't that a laugh? When my wife, Polly, here was first telling me, I couldn't believe she meant my baby.
Your baby?
Sure. Ain't he the image of his papa? That faraway look in his eyes?
Yes, and they're both bald-headed. So you see, Mr. Merlin, there's no need sending anyone to investigate the baby. It's just a waste of time.
I can't believe it. It's as though there'd been a death in the family.
Dad.
That sounds like my son.
Dad, I got great news for you.
You have, David?
Now, I want to present Fred Boggins. He's the father of Miss Parrish's baby.
What's that you said, David?
Go ahead, Fred. Tell him.
Mr. Merlin, my wife's a very nervous woman. My son is my son. And I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't send any investigators around to make any trouble for us.
Very interesting. David, do you know who this is?
Who? Where?
Sitting over there in the corner.
Polly, who's the man?
That's the father she brought. You two seem to have slipped up someplace. You've got one too many fathers. And I'm going to prosecute both of these men.
Oh, Mr. Merlin, your son made me do this. I'll tell you the truth, and I know what I'm talking about. Your son is the father of that baby.
He's lying, Dad. That worm with Miss Parrish must be the father.
Don't you believe it? I'm only the landlady's son. I'm not the father.
I don't care who the father is. I'm the grandfather.
Polly, where is she? She's gone.
Gone? She'll take the baby. Catch her. I want my grandson.
Polly, let me in, quick.
Get away from there.
Open this door. Let me in before my father gets here. I've got to tell you something.
I don't care. I'll never open it. Get away. You get out of here. You're not going to get this baby.
I'm not trying to take your baby away from you.
Then leave me alone. You've caused me nothing but trouble ever since the first time I saw you. You know so darn much.
Polly, listen, please.
No, I won't.
You must. You don't know what I've been going through since you threw me out of here this afternoon. I thought I was doing all this because I wanted to help you, but now I know better.
So do I. You're just a busybody.
Maybe, but I'm also in love, Polly. With you.
Huh?
It's the truth. You've got to believe me.
Oh, David. Do you mean it?
I can prove it. It must still be New Year's Eve somewhere.
Oh, David.
My darling.
Well, so I found you. I knew it. I knew it all the time. Well, David, what do you say now?
I confess, Dad. I am the father of that child.
Those are the first 2 words that have passed your lips in 48 hours. Come on, Johnny. Your parents are all tangled up. Let them straighten it out. You're going with your grandfather. Now, when you two can come to me as an honest married couple, you'll be very welcome. Until then, good day. Come, John B. the Second.
Well, I guess that's that.
Well, you heard what Grandpa said. Let's go.
Do you really mean that?
I got the license on the way down.
You mean you're willing to spend your life with a ready-made family?
If the family is you and Johnny.
You know something, David?
What, darling?
I'll bet this is the first time in history that a baby ever gave birth to a mother and father.
Thank you, David Niven, Francis X. Bushman, and Ginger Rogers for a most delightful half hour.
It was lots of fun to be here, Mr. Bradley. All of us in Hollywood welcome an invitation to appear with the Lady Esther Screen Guild players because we know how much this program contributes to the Motion Picture Relief Fund. and the wonderful work it does at its country house. And now, before we tell you about next week's show, here's a word from one of America's best-known beauty authorities, Lady Esther.
Thank you, Miss Rogers. Ladies, let me remind you again to get your Lady Esther anniversary package. You'll find it's really an extraordinary value. This special package, now being featured at stores all over the country, is my beauty dividend to you on my 30th anniversary. It gives you a most generous supply of both Lady Esther face powder and Lady Esther face cream, your two basic beauty aids, at a saving of almost half. And incidentally, it would be an excellent and welcome Mother's Day gift. Mother's Day is next Sunday, you know. In my anniversary package, you'll receive the large-size jar of Lady Esther four-purpose face cream, the size that regularly sells for $1.38. Also, you get the large boudoir-size 55-cent box of Lady Esther bridal pink face powder. Together, the large jar of Lady Esther face cream and the large box of Lady Esther face powder represent a value of $1.93. But in my anniversary, in other words, you save 95 cents, and you are supplied for months with these basic beauty aids that are all you need to keep your skin looking smoother, prettier, younger. So do surely see your dealer tomorrow for your Lady Esther anniversary package, and perhaps one or more as Mother's Day gifts for next Sunday.
Next week, the Lady Esther Screen Guild players will present The Talk of the Town. It will star Virginia Bruce, Alan Jocelyn, and Ronald Coleman. Be sure to listen. Bachelor Mother was presented through the courtesy of RKO Radio Pictures, producers of From This Day Forward, starring Joan Fontaine. Ginger Rogers will soon be seen in Sam Wood's RKO release, Heartbeat. David Niven appeared through the courtesy of Samuel Goldwyn, and will soon be seen in the Hal Wallace production for Paramount, The Perfect Marriage. Music on tonight's program was arranged and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. This is Truman Bradley speaking for Lady Esther. Thank you, and good night, everyone. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.